Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube. Go and follow Key City Sports on Instagram and follow the Key on millions.co. So, week 2 is in the books, and we had a very interesting week 2 in the NFL. First, it started off Thursday night with a win over the Packers over the Commanders. Now, I'm going to break down the statistics in that game for you right now. Obviously, Jaden Daniels, he suffered a injury in the game. Hopefully that does not keep him out for a long extended period of time. But one thing that I can say is Green Bay, they look like a dominant team in the first 2 games of the season with the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. And it seems like everybody else has a little slippage. You have the Eagles that have slippage. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they have slippage, which I'm going to talk about that later on in the show. But I just want to start off with the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, 19 of 31, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jaden Daniels, 24 of 42, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jaden Daniels, he did not look great in this game. And also, the Washington Commanders, they lost Austin Eckler, which is their top running back. And it is not going to fall well with the Washington Commanders because they are a run heavy team. They are a run first team. No matter what Jaden Daniels does, he needs to have a complementary running game. And having Austin Eckler out, I don't think he is going to get that. Now, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, he is a rookie, and I don't think you want to give a rookie the whole playbook when it comes to runs just yet. That's why Austin Eckler, he is the veteran running back. So everybody needs to know that, and everybody should watch out for that. But the Washington Commanders, they have a tough road if Austin Eckler is out for the season, which, by the way he got injured, I am not going to give any assumptions, but by the way he got injured Thursday night, it seems like he is going to be out for a significant period of time. For the Green Bay Packers, rushing attack, 135 yards. Rushing attack for the Commanders was non existent. And you can see the wide receiver core for the Green Bay Packers, they had a field day. But I want to get to that Green Bay Packers defense. That Green Bay Packers defense, since the season has started, they have only, and I do mean only, allowed 4.5 yards per play. So even if their opponents run the ball or pass the ball, they are only getting 4 yards per play. Third down defense for the Green Bay Packers is great. Fourth down defense and third down defense. And even in this game, the defense was good in this game. You all see total plays, first downs, third down efficiency, 5 of 16 for the Washington Commanders, and the Green Bay Packers on third down. Their offense was a little off, but it's only week 2. They were 5 of 12 from they were 5 of 12 on third down efficiency. Fourth down efficiency, Washington Commanders were 1 of 3. The Packers were 0 for 1. Now, future outlooks for both of these teams. We can see the Green Bay Packers easily in the Super Bowl. We can. Now, do I think that the Green Bay Packers have a chance at hosting the Lombardi Trophy? Yes, I do. I also give them a good chance at getting home field advantage if the Philadelphia Eagles some way somehow lose a couple of games down the stretch and the Green Bay Packers, they go on a roll going into the playoffs, that is the way where I could see the Green Bay Packers getting home field advantage and marching right away to the Super Bowl because they have a top-notch defense led by Michael Parsons. Then they have a top-notch offense with Jordan Love, Christian Watson. You have Josh Dobbs. Excuse me, not Josh Dobbs, but you have a running back in Josh Jacobs, and he can run the heck out of the ball. So you have a complementary run game if you are the Green Bay Packers, and you have Jordan Love, who doesn't put the ball in harm's way much. He doesn't do that much. So the Green Bay Packers, they have a lot of things to be happy for. That Packers fan base, I know that they are happy right now with what they have seen on tape for the last 2 weeks. The next game I'm going to cover is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. One thing I can say about this game is the Jaguars are one of those formidable opponents that can go toe-to-toe with teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills when it comes to this team. Now, Trevor Lawrence, he's still having trouble with those interceptions. Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 42, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Cannot have that. Jake Browning, 21 of 32, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Joe Burrow, he got injured and he is out for 3 months. Joe Burrow, 7 of 13, 76 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Now, rushing attack. Jaguars, 139 yards. Cincinnati Bengals, only 48 yards. So the rushing game was non-existent for the Cincinnati Bengals, and yet they still won the game. And I am going to tell you why. Because third down efficiency in this game for the Jaguars was not good. No matter how many points they put up, third down efficiency was not good. Look at this. Third down efficiency, 6 of 13. Now, some of those possessions, they didn't score. And if the Jaguars did score, they were in a shootout with the Bengals. Now, I am going to say this. Now, it was 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I like what Coach Liam Cohen did for the Jaguars. Instead of taking the field goal, he went for it on 4th and 5. Now, I don't have no problem with it. Under 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, fourth down conversion, you get that fourth down conversion, possibly go to the end zone, score a touchdown, and you done put the game on ice. But one thing I did not like was when the Jaguars had the lead, Trevor Lawrence threw the ball to the end zone, and his guy is double covered, and he still threw it down, and it got intercepted. Now, that interception is on Trevor Lawrence, and I like what Liam Cohen said to Trevor Lawrence, and he was telling him, he was like, don't have the ball up high, put it on your receiver's chest, put it right there in the chest. And that is what has plagued the Jaguars for the last couple of years when they play in these big time games and when they have a good promising drive and when they try and go down and score, all of a sudden something like a turnover or a penalty happens. So Jaguars, you have a chance to, I'm going to say this. See, Jaguars, they have a chance at winning the AFC South this year because Tennessee, it's a rebuilding year. Houston, I'm going to get into Houston later on in the show. And then you have Daniel Jones and the Colts, which seems like they are the big dogs of the AFC South right now. And I was looking at something last night. Daniel Jones is the second leading passer in the NFL right now after 2 games. The first is Russell Wilson. So all of a sudden, this season is already throwing us tosses and turns because you got Russell Wilson, top passer in the NFL, and then you have Daniel Jones, somebody who career looked like it was in the dumps coming from New York. All of a sudden, he has resurrected his career, and I mean, he has put the Colts as a powerhouse. And even though I'm going to say this a little bit later on, the Colts offense is great, is looking great under Daniel Jones. As far as the Jaguars this coming next game, they have a division opponent in the Houston Texans coming to Jacksonville. So what the Jaguars need to do is they could get a leg up when it comes to the division by beating the Houston Texans. Because we all know that the Texans, their offense, it did not look great. It didn't. And for the Cincinnati Bengals, well, the Cincinnati Bengals, they have some tough sledding to do because without Joe Burrow, you got Jake Browning. He is a well-seasoned vet. He knows the Cincinnati Bengals system like the back of his hand. But it's gonna be some games where the Bengals defense is gonna have to step up. And I don't think that it's gonna be able to. I just don't. The next game I'm going to talk about is the New York Giants and my Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? But I am not happy about this game. I'm really not. I want somebody to clip this. The defense. Where was the Cowboys defense? I mean, total yards you gave up for the Dallas Cowboys defense. Total yards, they gave up over 500 yards. And I'm going to go back to the statistics for this game. Because you had Russell Wilson, he threw over 500 yards. Hold on, let me get back to the box score. Yeah. 30 of 41, Russell Wilson, 30 of 41, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, 38 of 52, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The rushing attack for the Cowboys, 135 yards. I like what I'm seeing from that. Rushing attack for the Giants, 84 yards. Receiving, they had a field day. Defense, Matt Eberflus. What are you doing on defense? Kaiir Elam, get this joker off the field because he cannot stop nobody. He can't defend a pass. He can't even play the right man when it comes to his assignment on the field. And what is this about? It was so many times where the Cowboys could have gotten off the field. And y'all already know how I feel about a team that has their opponent in a long third down situation and they give it up. Now, it was 5 sequences in this game where the Cowboys had the Giants in a third down and long situation. First quarter, you had them in a 3rd and 17. You gave that up. Second quarter, you had them in a 3rd and 14. You gave that up. Third quarter, you had them twice in a 3rd and 19, a 3rd and 30, and you gave that up. And in the fourth quarter, you gave up a 3rd and 27 with under 2 minutes left in the game for a touchdown to Malik Neighbors. Dallas Cowboys defense, I am not happy. Matt Eberflus, I am not happy with you. And any true Dallas Cowboys fan is not happy with the defense right now. We know what we're going to get from that. We know what we're going to get from CeeDee Lamb. We know what we're going to get from George Pickens. We know what we're going to get from Kevontae Turpin. We know what we're going to get from Jake Ferguson. We know what we are going to get from Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and the Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, that was so many people that I just named, and I hope somebody clipped that. Now, Dallas Cowboys defense. I'm going to get back to the defense. You got Trayvon Diggs getting burned like a muffin. You got Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark, he did his thing. You got Khalil Elam. He getting burnt like a muffin. He getting burnt like some bread toast and all of that. And the pressure, the Dallas Cowboys front four, front seven, or front five, however many people you want to rush, they are not able to get pressure on the quarterback. In 2 games, the Dallas Cowboys have only managed to get 2 sacks in 2 games. That is not going to go well if the Cowboys are trying to make it to the playoffs. Now, me, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I see this on a weekly basis. And what I'm seeing as far as the defensive coordinator, I don't like. Give me the defensive coordinator position. Somebody clip that. Please give me the defensive coordinator position, and I will show you how to take no-name players and make a dominant team out of them. Now, Jerry, we already know what Jerry did with Michael Parsons. I'm tired of talking about Michael Parsons. Now it's time for this defense to step up. It's time for Jack Sanborn to step up, Kenneth Murray Jr. to step up, Solomon Thomas to step up, Donovan Wilson to step up, Malik Hooker to step up on the Cowboys defense. And that's just, the list can go on and on with this. It really can. But congratulations to the Cowboys on getting their first win. Congratulations to Brian Schottenheimer on getting your first win as the Cowboys head coach. But as far as defense concerned, I want to see better defense when the Cowboys play their next opponent, which is the Chicago Bears. We all know that Caleb Williams, he is having ups and downs. We all know that. But the Dallas Cowboys defense, do not give up no 3rd and longs, no 3rd and 20s, 3rd and 25s, and 3rd and 30s like that. That's ridiculous. If you're going to be a good defense, there's no way you should be giving up a 3rd down and 30. There is no way. But that's all I got to say about the New York Giants and my Dallas Cowboys. The next game I'm going to cover when I get to it. The next game I'm going to cover. Come on. Get me back. The next game I'm going to cover is the aforementioned Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Now, this was not a statement game, but this was a division game. Jared Goff, 23 of 28. 334 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Caleb Williams, 19 of 30, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing attack for the Chicago Bears, 134 yards. Detroit, rushing attack, 177 yards. And the wide receiver core for the Detroit Lions, they had a field day. You had Amon-Ra St. Brown, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams, he had 2 receptions for 108 yards. Isaac Talasala, 1 reception, 29 yards. You had Sam Laporta, 3 receptions, 26 yards. Now, one thing I can say is the Detroit Lions, we know that they were going to have a bounce back game. Chicago Bears are still a young, up-and-coming team. Ben Johnson is at the helm. Caleb Williams, he is the quarterback. Roma Doomsday is the wide receiver. You have DeAndre Swift, and you have everybody on the Chicago Bears offense. Everybody is trying to get cohesiveness with each other on the team. After 2 weeks, it's still a work in progress. We all know that nothing is successful overnight, but that all depends on what you in. Because some things can be success, some things can be a success overnight, but other things like football, it take time. Y'all see what I did there? Some things can be a success overnight, and then other things it can take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, or sometimes it can even take 6 months to get it right. But everybody still is going to be able to get success in this system with the Chicago Bears, but it's going to take some time. Now, when we get to the Detroit Lions defense is still a little iffy to me. It really is because we already know that you were going to blow out the Chicago Bears. But when you face teams like Baltimore, who you are going to face this coming week, then you face the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, everybody, I'm going to get to the Kansas City Chiefs later on, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they are a wounded dog right now. They are 0-2. Everybody think that they are supposed to just Everybody think that they have lost their grip and everything, but the Detroit Lions, they've also lost their grip too. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and I mean, you laid an egg versus your arch rival in Green Bay a week ago. Sunday, you beat up on your division rival, the Chicago Bears. What can you do against teams like Buffalo, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Green Bay again? Let's see what you can do against those teams because we already know that the Chicago Bears are an inferior team. We know that the Chicago Bears are a pretender and not a contender, okay? This is week 2. Well, this is going into week 3, but I'm already saying it. The Chicago Bears are not going to be a contender. Now, this is week 2, but let me say this, I'm not going to take much away. I don't take much away from week 1 or week 2, but it's a lot of telltale signs on how the teams that are going to fail when it comes to week 11, week 12 in this situation. But Detroit Lions, they did what they were supposed to do. Now their next game is against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what they can do against the Baltimore Ravens. Are they able to get stops when they need to? Because they did not look great when they played against the Green Bay Packers. They didn't. The next game I'm going to cover is the Los Angeles Rams and the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, this is a rebuilding year, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Cam Ward, he is a good quarterback. 19 of 33, 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Titans rushing attack had 109 yards. The Rams rushing attack had 149 yards. Matthew Stafford, 23 of 33, 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Receiving for both the Rams and the Titans had a combined day. Well, the Rams, they had a grand total of 298 yards, almost 300 yards. Tennessee Titans receiving core 175. We know that this is a rebuilding year, but who is going to be that first win for the Tennessee Titans? I don't know. For the Rams, they have the Eagles coming up this coming week. A rematch of the NFC divisional round game from last year. And a lot of people have stated that if it wasn't for the Eagles beating the Rams probably win the Super Bowl last year. And I can agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%. The Titans defense and the Rams defense did what they were supposed to do. And this game pretty much, I can say this game pretty much fell by the wayside. When you look at when you look at the schedule and the type of games that were on, I believe the best game for week 3 was the Giants and the Cowboys from an offensive production standpoint. Now, defensively, I believe the best defensive game was Atlanta and Minnesota, which I'm going to get into that later on in the show. Now, one thing that I can say is when it comes to the Rams, we all know that the Rams are going to be there in the end. When it comes to playoff positioning, Tennessee Titans, I believe that they may be 3 years away from being a playoff contender. But I like what Cam Ward is putting on tape. I like how his game is starting to evolve in just 2 weeks. He is taking command of that offensive huddle in Tennessee. So, Tennessee, you already have your quarterback for the future, for the next 10 years. God forbid a career ending injury happens to Cam Ward. But the Tennessee Titans are set for the future. The next game I'm going to cover is the Saints, excuse me, the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, in this case, what I'm hearing is Miami Dolphins, they just gonna chuck this season up and just forget about it. But I can say it was not looking good for the Miami Dolphins coming into this season because what I heard, and I can also say this is true, that back in May, I heard that Mike McDaniel was already on the hot seat. He was already on the hot seat. Y'all don't have to take that from me, but y'all could go back and look up some articles back in May that said that, and I'm not gonna disclose all of my sources, but my sources are always accurate when it comes to news like this. So back to what I was saying when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, it's gotten pretty tough. I want somebody to clip this because Miami, in this case, 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure everybody remember, 2 years ago, Tyreek Hill came to Miami with Tua Tagovailoa, and then it seemed like for the first 8 weeks of the 2023 season, I mean the Miami Dolphins, they were just putting up record numbers. In week 3 of that year, they put up 10 touchdowns and put up 70 points. So we all thinking that okay, this offense is gonna be around for years to come, and then all of a sudden we fast forward 24 months later and all of a sudden, trouble in paradise. There are cracks in the foundation. You got Tua Tagovailoa. He has confidence in his playing ability, but the players, his offense, his teammates, they don't have confidence in what he does on the field. So, cause y'all can see it. Y'all can see Tyreek Hill. Now, this is the first time in a year Tyreek Hill has had a reception over 30 yards. Tyreek Hill, he took himself out of the game for one play. The players for the Miami Dolphins, they don't have confidence in Tua, and not to mention the players don't even have confidence in the coaching staff. When you don't have confidence in your coaching staff, the team is already messed up mentally and schematically. It's already messed up. Now, not Joe Philbin, but Stephen Ross, the Miami Dolphins owner, I would not be surprised if Stephen Ross pulled the plug on Mike McDaniel. And a lot of people are saying that he might pull the plug before the season is over with. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that because the Miami Dolphins defense has not stopped an opponent yet from scoring a touchdown. 15 possessions. The defense has not stopped an opponent from scoring a touchdown. The Miami Dolphins, after 2 weeks, have the worst defense on record. And after 2 weeks, they are projected to either go 3-14 or 0-17. Now, if the Miami Dolphins do go on to go 0-17, that would be the worst team in NFL history. We wasn't saying this about a Tua Tagovailoa-led team 2 years ago. Are the Miami Dolphins, are they trying to just blow up this roster? Because Tyreek Hill, we already know Tyreek Hill, he is going through trouble on and off the field, but I'm not going to get into his off the field troubles because this is not that kind of channel. But what I see from the Miami Dolphins, and I was hearing this from an insider of mine, the Miami Dolphins coming into the preseason, they weren't confident. And then all of a sudden, after the Colts game, you have a players only meeting. That is bad because I have never heard a team after the first game of the season have a players only meeting. That's not good. That is telling me that you don't have the type of preparation that you need. Now, you had all spring, you had March, the spring, you had June, the summer, and then you had August, which is training camp, to get the type of schematics that you wanted in order to beat the Colts. But you came out and laid an egg. You came out and laid an egg against your division rival, the New England Patriots. Now, I'm not surprised that the Patriots went down to Miami and won this game. Now, historically, the Patriots have always had a problem going down to Miami and winning games. But this falls on the Miami Dolphins coaching staff and Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, I don't know. Well, I do know where he was before he got to Miami. He was with the 49ers. He was their offensive coordinator. He was their offensive coordinator from 2019 to 2022. Now, the Miami Dolphins are at a crossroads when it comes to Mike McDaniel. Do you keep him throughout the entirety of this season, and then after this season, you trade away Tua Tagovailoa? Or do you push all your chips to the middle of the table, try and go get you a playoff win, and then you reassess everything? Because Tyreek Hill said early in the offseason, this was during Sports Fanatics Fest in June up in New York. He said that he wants to deliver a playoff win for Miami. I mean, it ain't looking like the Miami Dolphins are going to be a formidable playoff contender. Because when you see what their defense has given up over the first 2 weeks, I'm gonna just go on back to the first game for the Miami Dolphins. Oh, let me look up this foolishness when it comes to their statistics. Now, as far as defense concerned, y'all see this? When it comes to offense, their opponents are scoring 33 points. And the Miami Dolphins offense is only scoring 17 points. That's all. Third down defense is bad. Do y'all see this? Third down defense. 14 of 27. That's 51% that their opponents are converting third downs. Fourth down efficiency. 4 for 4. So third down offense is bad. Third down defense is bad, and fourth down defense ain't no better. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, look at this. I mean, look at their schedule. The Miami Dolphins, they got the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Their next two games. Do I think that they can win one of those two games? I don't even know. I believe the Jets, they have a better chance of winning with the Jets, but I don't even think that they can beat the Jets. So that's all I got to say about the Miami Dolphins. The next game I'm going to cover is the 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. Mac Jones. Mac Jones, it seems like he has resurrected his career, even though that this is just one game. He was 26 of 39, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Spencer Rattler, 25-34, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now, this game, it was very interesting. We all know that the New Orleans Saints is projected to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this season, but I believe Miami Dolphins are going to beat the New Orleans Saints to it. As far as their running attack for the Saints, 121 yards, and the San Francisco 49ers 77. So 49ers in this case, everybody is saying that they have the easiest schedule, and they do have the easiest schedule. They already have injuries to Brock Purdy and to their wide receivers. So, next man up mentality, and that is what the 49ers have preached since Kyle Shanahan has been there. Now, here's the team statistics for this game, and time of possession was pretty much the same. 30 minutes for the 49ers, 29 minutes for the New Orleans Saints. Now, the next game I'm going to cover is the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Buffalo Bills in this case, you're in a position. The Buffalo Bills are in a position where if they keep winning like this, possibly by the time November gets here, the Buffalo Bills will already have won the AFC South. Excuse me, not the AFC South, but the AFC East. Because last season, I go back to last season for this very topic, and my point is for the last 6 weeks of the regular season last season, the Buffalo Bills already won the AFC East by the time Thanksgiving got here. And it seems like they are on the same trajectory. But what I see the New England Patriots, they are going to have a tough time trying to beat the Buffalo Bills. The Miami Dolphins, they pretty much, I don't know what kind of aquarium the Dolphins are swimming in right now, but that aquarium that the Dolphins are swimming in, it's not good for them right now because they can't swim. I mean, y'all know how y'all see them dolphins at SeaWorld and at all these other different kind of aquariums, how they be sprouting up out the water. These dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, they ain't sprouting up out the water like they usually do. They not. It's like they are dead, and it seems like they done got into some water where it's just too much salt water, or or some alcohol in there, or you got seaweed that done broke out for the Miami Dolphins, because Miami Dolphins haven't done nothing at all. You got the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. I believe it's a 2-team race in the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. New York Jets fall by the wayside. Miami Dolphins, I already said the aquarium is not good right now for the Miami Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, 14 of 25, 148 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And I'm pretty sure everybody is saying, where did these 30 points come from? I'm gonna tell you where them 30 points came from. James Cook ran 2 touchdowns in. Elijah Moore had 1 touchdown. That's 3 touchdowns right there. They pretty much, and the Buffalo Bills field goal kicker made 2 field goals. Well, excuse me, 3 field goals. So that's where the 30 points came from. And the Bills, they are just a better team than the New York Jets right now. I know that the New York Jets coming into the season, they had Justin Fields, and they had a chance to win opening day game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it wasn't time for them to win that game because Aaron Rodgers had to make a statement that the New York Jets, everybody thought after Aaron Rodgers left the New York Jets, his career was finished. But he had a rendition in week 1. Now, he didn't do too well this week on Sunday. But New York Jets, they didn't have a good offensive line that time that Aaron Rodgers was with the New York Jets. And that is why the New York Jets are one of the most snake-bitten franchises in the NFL. The next game I'm going to cover is the Pittsburgh Steelers, what I just said a few minutes ago, and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, before the season started, I had Seattle winning this game. But after what I saw last week from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I had said, okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers might win this game. So I went with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that was a mistake on my part. Because Aaron Rodgers, he was 18 of 33, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. I don't know. Is this what we gonna have from Aaron Rodgers throughout the entirety of the season? Because I just don't know. I know that Mike Tomlin, he threw dice on the table and he came up with a 7 and he got Aaron Rodgers. But sometimes those 7s don't always be 7s when you keep rolling the dice on the table. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers had a 7 last week in a win. But this week, they kept rolling craps. They kept on rolling 8s and 9s and 4s. Now, everybody knows if you're rolling dice. Now, personally, me, I've never rolled dice before, but I do know what the numbers mean. If it's a 7, you have the whole board. You have everything that is on the table, you can get it. But if you roll a crap, it's an 8 if you roll a crap. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he played like crap. I can say that. He rolled the crap. He has the number 8 jersey, but he played like that number 8 on his jersey. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I'm going to get to this defense because we expect the Pittsburgh Steelers defense to be a lot down, not giving up over 30 points. But this is the first time that they have given up over 30 points to start off a season, 2 games since 2018. Because remember, 2018, their first game that they played, they gave up 30 points to the Baltimore Ravens. And then that next week, which was Patrick Mahomes' first ever game second career game, they gave up 35 points. So the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they have been showing some leaks over the years. Now, the Seattle Seahawks, I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know if they're going to make it to the playoffs or not, but Sam Darnold, I don't trust Sam Darnold. I just don't. Even though that he had a kind of okay game, I just don't trust him. So I don't have much stock in the Seattle Seahawks, but I have more stock in the Pittsburgh Steelers than the Seattle Seahawks. I can tell you that much. Here are the team statistics for both, and the defense for the Steelers. You got to get better, and you got to get better quick, because the Steelers, they have the Ravens to think about. They have the Chargers to think about on their schedule. You also have the Cincinnati Bengals to think about, even though the Bengals are short-handed, undermanned, without Joe Burrow, they are still able to put points up. They are. They are still able to put points up. The next game I'm going to cover, we are getting in the home stretch of this show. The next game I'm going to cover is the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. This was a blowout in and of itself. The Baltimore Ravens did what they were supposed to do, taking care of business at home over a division rival. Lamar Jackson, 19 of 29, 225 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had a good game. The Baltimore rushing attack was non-existent. 45 yards, really? And you got Derrick Henry leading your rushing attack, 45 yards, is not good at all. Cleveland Brown rushing attack, 115 yards. Joe Flacco, 25 of 45, 199 yards, 1 TD, and 1 interception. Dylan Gabriel, 3 for 3, 19 yards, 1 touchdown. Come on, Cleveland Browns. Come on. You already knew that you wasn't going to win this game. So why even have, why not put Shedeur in there? I mean, just have Shedeur play in mop-up duty. I mean, really, just have Shedeur play in mop-up duty. Now, allegedly, there was a story that came out over the weekend where Shedeur didn't want to go to Baltimore because he wanted to start playing right now. Now, if that's true or not, I can understand, because going to Baltimore, you're not going to start right away because you have Lamar Jackson at the helm. Now, everybody is saying that Shedeur Sanders, he didn't play his cards right. I believe, now, one thing I could say is that me, back in middle school, I was a quarterback, so I can understand. Now, everybody wanted me to be the quarterback for my middle school team. But there was some other things that happened, and the guy that was already the quarterback, they kept him, but the players on my middle school football team didn't like that. And I can understand that. I can, because I had a much bigger arm than the quarterback. I could throw the ball much further than the current quarterback. But back to what I was saying with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, he is not the kind of person that just wants to sit on the bench. He wants to impact the game. Now, in Baltimore, he wasn't going to be able to do that because you got Lamar Jackson. Now, if he would have went to a team like, I would say, if he would have went to a team like Tennessee before they got Cam Ward, he would have been able to do that. If he would have went to a team like the New Orleans Saints, he would have been able to do that. So the Browns, I believe the Browns, what the Browns are using Shedeur Sanders for, they using him for a cash cow. He is the only reason why the Cleveland Browns are being talked about. Because if it was anybody else, I would not be talking about the Cleveland Browns. ESPN would not be talking about the Cleveland Browns. CBS would not be talking about the Cleveland Browns. If I'm the I've been saying this since before the season started, since preseason. You keep on putting Shedeur Sanders as the emergency quarterback. You only got 3 quarterbacks on the list, so obviously we already know that Shedeur Sanders is the 3rd quarterback. But I don't wish injury on anybody, but I've been saying this a lot over the past 3 weeks. Somebody is going to get injured on the Cleveland Browns. Whether it's Joe Flacco or who knows, Dylan Gabriel, he not gonna live up to par. He even though that Dylan Gabriel is the same size as Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals quarterback. Kyler Murray, he has more ability and agility when it comes to navigating an offense. Dylan Gabriel, he is just like a penguin when he back there in the pocket. I mean, y'all saw how he fared against the Philadelphia Eagles in the preseason. When he threw that interception, he just let the guy run right past him. So, do y'all want that as all my Cleveland Brown fans out there? Do y'all want that as a team? Or do y'all want somebody who has gotten expertise from the best? Because Shedeur Sanders said that he only takes advice when it comes to quarterbacks. He only takes advice from the best, which is Tom Brady. So, do you want Shedeur Sanders to be the leader of your football team for the future? Or do you still want old head Joe Flacco, uh, Joe Cool, or whatever the hell they call him? Do y'all still want that as your quarterback when you have so much inconsistency with Inconsistency Joe? That's what I'm going to call him. Inconsistency Joe. I'm going to write that down. Joe Flacco nickname for this season is Inconsistency Joe. And Dylan Gabriel, I'm still trying to find a nickname for him, but I think I'm gonna just call him Dilly Dilly. And then you got Shedeur Sanders. You got legendary himself, Mr. Legendary himself, Shedeur Sanders, raising up the right wrist and saying that it's his time to start. And I do believe that it is his time to start. But will the Browns give him that chance? Oh my goodness. Y'all know that the Browns and Shedeur Sanders got that prime equity clause. So Shedeur, he getting money no matter what. He got the top selling jersey in the NFL right now. He done made $25 million just by jersey sales alone, and we not even in week 7 yet of the NFL season. I know that the higher ups in the NFL, I know that they got their people monitoring Shedeur Sanders. Now I am not gonna talk about that as much because me, I want to get into one thing I want to do is I want to work with the NFL. I want to be associated with the NFL. So I'm not gonna go in too much on the NFL. Roger Goodell, commissioner of the NFL. If you watching this, please, I just wanna go ahead and put in my application for an NFL job, Mr. Goodell. Jerry Jones, if you need help when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, I'm putting in my application right now. Shad Khan, if you need help building a championship team for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm putting in my application right now. Miami Dolphins, if you need help, I'm putting in my application right now. Back to the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, they did what they were supposed to do. This is this is not this is not the kind of win that I'm pretty much I was focused on because I already knew what was going to happen. So the next game I'm going to cover is the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. Denver is going to be a team that is going to get to the playoffs. Can they win a playoff game on the road is the question. Because I'm not worried about the Broncos at all. Yes, they lost to the Indianapolis Colts, but we all know that Daniel Jones, 23 of 34, 316 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. We all know that whatever people call Daniel Jones, whether it's Indiana Jones or Indy Jones or N Jones or whatever. Daniel Jones, he is having a good game, a good time with the Indianapolis Colts. But I am not ready to apologize for what I said about Daniel Jones when it comes to him not being a good quarterback. He's got to do this on a consistent basis. One or two games here and there, that ain't enough for me. He got to do it for 12, 13 games, an entire season, lead the Colts to the playoffs. And then at the end of the season, we can talk about my assessment on Daniel Jones. We already know that the New York Giants offense has been trashed over the past 12 years. So we already know what the source was for him not to get much time in New York. Now, Indianapolis Colts are one of the big dogs, well, becoming one of the big dogs in the AFC. Now, 2-0 teams in the AFC is Indianapolis Colts, Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo Bills. Do y'all see what kind of category the Indianapolis Colts are in right now? Now, I know that there are a few more AFC teams that are 2-0, but I just want to focus on those three. We expected the Buffalo Bills to be 2-0. We expected the Chargers to be 1-1. Well, best case scenario, we expected the Chargers to be 2-0 after two games. Worst case scenario, we expected the Chargers to be 1-1. But Indianapolis, we did not expect Indianapolis to be 2-0. They are surprising a whole lot of people. And Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones, he is pretty much, this is the first time in Daniel Jones' career where he has had back-to-back games for over 300 passing yards. So, Indianapolis Colts fans, you got something in Daniel Jones. Carly Ursay, I know the owner, Indianapolis Colts, Carly Ursay is happy. She is right there on the sideline looking at these players every game. Now, I don't know why people have a problem with Carly Ursay being on the sidelines. She is not micromanaging anything. She stands right there on that sideline. She has a tally. She has a sticky note. She has a notebook. She has a scrapbook. Whatever kind of book she has. And she's writing down what she sees her team doing. Now, personally, if I was an owner, I would be doing the same thing. And why are y'all so surprised that a woman is doing this? Jerry Jones been doing this for the last 35 years. Come on, America. Let's not act like that this is new now. Jerry Jones been doing the same exact thing for 35 years. Now, since we got a woman in the NFL doing it, y'all think that it's new. If I was the owner of a team, which I am going to be the owner of a professional football team, I'm speaking that in the atmosphere. Come on, audience. I need somebody to be with me. Keytime Sports is going to be an NFL owner in this thing, preferably for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry, save me that seat, because I'm coming to Dallas, and I am going to be the owner for the Dallas Cowboys. I can already see it. But back to what I was saying. When it comes to Carly Ursay, she is doing the right thing for her, because she said in a press conference, she was like, I'm paying all of these people millions and millions of dollars. I want to see what the players and the coaches are doing, just in case if I need to fire somebody. I like what I'm hearing from Carly Ursay. I wish every owner was like that. You got some owners in the NFL that don't even go and look at the practices, don't even look at the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and the entire coaching staff. You got owners like, I'm going to say Stephen Ross. You don't hear Stephen Ross going to a player's practice, but you hear Jerry Jones going to a player's practice. Now we all know that I love me some Jerry Jones. I do. I love me some Jerry Jones, and I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. But I like the business principles, some of the business principles that Jerry Jones do. I don't like them all, but I certainly like what the new owner of the Indianapolis Colts is doing, Miss Carly Ursay herself. I like what she doing. She is on the sideline looking at the head coach, the assistant coaches, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and she is saying that she likes what she sees. Don't you want to hear that from your boss? Whatever company you working for, I'm saying that I'm bringing this back to everyday life. Everyday life, there's an owner, there's a supervisor, the boss is looking at you, and if you are not making the necessary efforts to propel the company or be a good asset to that company, you are going to get fired. It's the same thing in sports. But we got most fans are blinded from the business side of sports. See, that's where I come in. That's where Key Time come in at. Key Time, he is here, I am here, and we all are here to give you the business aspect of the sporting world. Because I know most fans, they don't care about the business aspect of it. They don't. When Jerry got rid of Michael Parsons, that was a business decision. And me, I wasn't mad at it because Michael Parsons didn't take control of the games when we needed him to take control of them. He didn't. So the Indianapolis Colts owner Carly Ursay, keep doing your thing, Miss Ursay. I like what you're doing, and there might be a chance where I get to see the Indianapolis Colts in person. Hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that, audience. Hey, I ain't saying nothing, but hey, I'm just sowing seeds out there right now. Just sowing seeds. I'm trying to get me a position in the NFL when it come to content creation. So hey, Indianapolis Colts, they got a couple jobs up there too. They do. But me, hey, it's like when it come to getting a job with the NFL, no city is off limits. I'm just saying, no city is off limits. But back to the next game. I know I'm getting off a schedule, and we already done went over an hour. So the next game I'm going to talk about is the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. Bryce Young, oh my goodness. I think that I am going to have to backpedal on my prediction that I made back in late July of the Carolina Panthers being a dark horse team to make the playoffs. Now, I know that this is just week 2, but they don't have a competent offense. They just don't, because you got Bryce Young throwing the ball almost 60 times, 35 of 55, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. You don't have no running game that exists. It's only 49 yards total, a total of 49 yards from the rushing attack for the Panthers. The Cardinals, they didn't do much better. And Kyler Murray, he threw less yards than Bryce Young. Now, I don't know why it's like this, but it seems like every time the Panthers and the Cardinals play, the game always ends up like this. I mean, Cardinals. We got the Cardinals at 2-0. Now, the Cardinals, they are one of those teams where they could pretty much, turn the corner this season, make the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. And then, worst case scenario, the Cardinals can end up one of the worst teams in the NFL. But as of right now, they looking pretty good. Excuse me. Also, another thing that I can say is the Cardinals, they ended up upsetting the 49ers last season. And The Cardinals play the 49ers this week in Santa Clara. So Arizona might be one of those teams that we may have to look out for. Just saying. Just saying. The next game I'm going to cover is the Super Bowl rematch. Super Bowl rematch, Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this game, but y'all just sit back and just listen to me. The Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0 for the third time in 4 years. The Kansas City Chiefs, somebody please clip this. The Kansas City Chiefs are in unfamiliar territory. For the first time in 11 years, they are 0-2. The last time the Chiefs started out 0-2, they did not make the playoffs. But if there was any quarterback that could take their team from a 0-2 start and make the playoffs and possibly win a championship, it would be Patrick Mahomes himself. Now, do I think that the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs? Hell no, I don't think that they're going to miss the playoffs. The Chiefs, they are going to make the playoffs no matter what, because you have Patrick Mahomes back there. And I'm going to go down a list. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, you got to come up. Hollywood Brown, you got to come up. Juju Smith-Schuster, you got to increase your play. Noah Gray, you got to increase your play. And I mean, after the game on Sunday, I just kept on hearing people say that Kansas City, they just have a bunch of guys now. Do they? Now, we all know that the Chiefs, they start off cold every season. And then by the time we get to week 8, week 9, everything starts to roll. So it's like, what are we really talking about when we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, we really overreacting because a division team in the Chargers that has had trouble with them over the past won a game, and the Philadelphia Eagles, they won over the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs, they wasn't very far off. They could have easily won this game if it wasn't for 3 plays. You had Patrick Mahomes. He threw an interception. Then you had a fumble with the Chiefs with Kareem Hunt. And then you had a third down that the Chiefs, they stopped the Eagles on third down, but a penalty happened. And that gave the Eagles an automatic first down. So those were 3 instances where the Chiefs could have won this game. But am I concerned about the Chiefs? My level of concern for the Chiefs on a scale from 0 to 100 is a 0.5. It's a 0.5. The next game that the Chiefs have is against the New York Giants. So I'm going to just go ahead and mark that as a win right there. And everything else for the Kansas City Chiefs, they going to be okay. Kansas City Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. I don't care what history has said. History is just that. It's a reference of what happened in the past. The Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't have Patrick Mahomes back in 2014. They had Alex Smith back in 2014. This team, this 0-2 team is different from that 0-2 team. So all you Kansas City fans out there, and I know quite a few Kansas City fans personally, Kansas City fans are on my TikTok. So all you Kansas City fans out there, somebody clip this. All you Kansas City fans out there, you are going to be okay. And I'm going to send that over to TikTok after I get done with the show. Philadelphia Eagles, you're still the champs. You're not looking too great, but it's still early in the season. The next game I'm going to cover, and this was probably the best defensive game of week 2, the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy is out for 3 weeks. J.J. McCarthy, 11 of 21, 158 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Michael Penix Jr., 13 of 21, 135 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This was a field goal fest for 49 minutes of the game. This game, it was no enthusiasm in this game. But one thing that the Atlanta Falcons can do, and this is the same thing that I said this is the same thing that I am going to say with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I'm going to get into in a few minutes. The Atlanta Falcons can run the ball. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers can run the ball. So the NFC South, worst division in football, worst division in the NFL, is a two-team race between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the Minnesota Vikings, you got your best quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. He is going to be out for 3 weeks. So what do the Minnesota Vikings do? Do they go and get a backup, or do they believe in the backups that they already have? Now, Carson Wentz is the backup in Minnesota. This is Carson Wentz's sixth NFL team in the past 6 years. He doesn't stay anywhere long. The longest he's ever stayed was Philadelphia for those 4 years. 4 years. But Carson Wentz is just a above average quarterback to me. An above average quarterback. That's all. So hopefully the Minnesota Vikings can still be able to salvage this season and make a run at the playoffs. As far as for the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix Jr., I love what I saw. Michael Penix Jr. is the future for Atlanta. So I want everybody to stop saying, y'all need to put Kirk Cousins in. I don't want to hear that, because Kirk Cousins, he got a big old fat contract. He got $100 million guaranteed on his contract. If I was him, I would just be sitting on the bench, looking at the plays and collecting my $100 million guaranteed, and just looking at everybody saying life is good. Probably get me a few diamond chains, a few golden chains, and just sit on the bench and say, well, hey, this the easiest money I ever made in life. That's what I would be saying. But we all know that Kirk Cousins, he wants to play. But he is not going to play because Michael Penix Jr. is better than Kirk Cousins, and he will be better in the long run. Because Kirk Cousins, he only has 3 years left. Not even 3 years left. So, all in all, this was a very, very boring game because of all of the field goals. But congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons on getting your first win of the season. Now, that was Sunday Night Football. The last 2 games of the week happened last night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, I don't know what has gone on with the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, 13 of 24, 207 yards, 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions. And there was a 4th down play in the game where they pretty much lost the game. They lost it. In the 3rd quarter, 4th and goal at the 2-yard line. If they score a touchdown, they go up by 6. And they didn't score a touchdown, and that's what ultimately lost them the game. Baker Mayfield, 25 of 38, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The rushing attack for the Buccaneers, 169 yards. Houston Texans rushing attack didn't even crack 100 yards, only 84 yards. Wide receiver core for the Buccaneers, Mike Evans, 56 yards. Bucky Irvin, 50 yards. You had Nico Collins for the Texans, 52 yards. Woody Marks, 37 yards. For the defense, for the Texans, was bad. They had so many missed tackles last night. I counted how many missed tackles they had in the game last night. 12. 12 missed tackles, and it could have been more. It could have been more. But for me, myself, I saw 12 missed tackles. 12 of them. Now, Houston Texans, they have a tough game coming to Jacksonville and playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jacksonville Jaguars, they just lost to the Bengals on Sunday in a game where they should have won. Houston hasn't looked all that great on offense, and the defense hasn't looked all that great either. But a good AFC South showdown is going to happen Sunday in Jacksonville. Now, I'm not going to give my prediction to who is going to win that game, but you can say it is going to be a very entertaining game because you got an energetic coaching staff for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Houston Texans coaching staff is very energetic. Liam Cohen, the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, this guy is so energetic. He is getting on everybody that does something wrong. And personally, for me as an NFL spectator, that is what the Jaguars have been needing the longest. They don't need no run-of-the-mill coach that'll just let everything happen and just sit right there and just have this look of desperateness on his face, like, come on, defense, please make a stop. No, get on them players and say, hey, y'all need to stop this. Y'all need to stop the opponent, or else I ain't gonna be here. I ain't gonna be your head coach long enough. Now, the last game of the week happened last night at about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Geno Smith, he did not have a good game. He didn't. Geno Smith, 24 of 43, 180 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Justin Herbert, 19 of 27, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. One thing I can say about this game it lacked entertainment. It did. It lacked entertainment because the Raiders' offense was non-existent. Only 68 yards on the ground. The Los Angeles Chargers, 81 yards on the ground. You have a rushing attack. The rushing attack, not rushing attack, but you have a wide receiver core for the Raiders that didn't even crack 200 yards. The Chargers wide receiver core had over 200 yards. This game was just a defensive game. It was, and if it wasn't for the 3 interceptions, this game may have ended up 9-6 or 12-9 or something like that. But there was times in this game where players had a severe case of fumbleitis. I have not used that word at all in the past 2 weeks because I just want to see how many people in the audience are paying attention. So the Chargers had a severe case of fumbleitis. Both teams had a severe case of turnover lighters. Another word I haven't been using. I just want to see if y'all have been paying attention to the defense. Both defenses, they did what they were supposed to do. But as far as big offensive plays came at a premium for the LA Chargers, I'm not surprised that they won this game because they are trying to keep pace with the Chiefs. Now the Chargers, they are tops in the AFC West right now. It's the Chargers, then you have the Broncos, the Raiders, and then you have the Chiefs. Now we all know that the Chiefs are not the worst team in the AFC West, but after 2 weeks, they look like it. They look like it. So that's all I have for week 2. With that, those are my reactions to week 2 of the NFL season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and The Key on millions.co. And one last thing, everybody, remember, the key is always on time.